Hello and welcome back to my channel, Jordan Mind, Body, and Soul, where we learn to take care of ourselves, mind, body, and soul. And if you're new to this channel, then welcome. This channel is just about ways we learn to take care of ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever it is, so that we can lead our best lives. And as you already know by the title, this video is for the moms who feel like they lost their spark after a baby. Now, to be completely honest with you guys, I usually have the videos that I have set for the week already planned out. But yesterday I found myself just scrolling on YouTube and I found a video about this, and I read the comments, and then, once you watch one video, you start getting suggestions for other videos. So I felt like this is a topic that I can speak on, give my perspective, which may be a little bit of the unpopular opinion, but also help moms who feel like they are having this experience. So first, let me say to you, congratulations. I don't care if your kid is 2 weeks old or 2 years old. Congratulations. Let's remember the beauty of all of this. You were someone's mom. Someone depends on you to live, to thrive, to be. That's amazing. So before I get any further in this video, just to start out, I'm going to let you know that this video is from the perspective of a person who's excited about motherhood, right? Who enjoys motherhood. Although every day obviously isn't going to be perfect. And some days I'm just I am just so tired. I am so drained. I don't regret the experience. I am not looking at it oh my God, I'm not doing that. But this is going to be an honest deep dive into this whole topic, because I honestly feel like it's layered. The whole conversation is layered. So just to start off, any time in life you are experiencing something new, you're on a new part of your journey of life, it's going to call for new parts of you. So with anything, but specifically since we're talking about the journey of motherhood today, you have to figure out how you, as the person you are now today, is going to navigate this change and this transition as you become who you are trying to be or who you want to be, your end goal, your higher self. And so I think a lot of times when I see, or just based off the videos that I saw and the conversations in the comments, was that a lot of people are almost afraid of shedding that old self. And I'm going to speak on later how you can still connect to that part of you. You still can connect to that younger or former version of yourself. And I'm going to give you ways of how to do it in this stage today. But that's basically what it is. You're splitting into a new person because you're adapting to a new situation. The first and most, the biggest step that helped me, because I don't feel like I lost my spark. When I was watching the video, there were women and people who were saying they literally feel like they lost their spark. They feel like they're less attractive. They feel like they're, all this other stuff. And I noticed basically from what a lot of them were saying, it had a lot to do with external validation and the physical, right? So for me personally, I'm a small woman. I'm 4'11". I've struggled to keep 120 pounds. I'm really probably 110. And that's my set weight. So after having Legend, I didn't have to worry about losing weight. I had the baby, and it's the next week I was back to my body. A lot of people who are dealing with the physical changes, some people, I do feel my nose has I always had a cute little wide button nose, and I feel it's a little bit wider than it was. That's something that is not going to go back. It's not going to change. People dealing with weight loss and all these physical changes that they have. Something else that I'm going to talk about in another video is that I have a condition called NF, which causes little tumors to develop on your body. So with pregnancy, I started to have more came. And with them, they stay. They don't go away unless you have them surgically removed. So that's an example of me being able to relate to, yes, there are physical changes that occur. And in that, you have to learn to develop either like a new respect for yourself and your body because of like think of how complicated pregnancy is. Think of how serious pregnancy is. Like, your body did something amazing. It's going to change. Some people are going to have stretch marks that are never going to go away. Some people are going to have weight that they will always have, that added weight that they're struggling to lose after having their baby. Some people are going to have, just different conditions and things, and some people even have more life-threatening or serious things. Like, there are some people who deal with like paralysis in their back, or even more serious cases like where they lose sensation in other part of their bodies due to the epidural or the whole process. So yes, you're going to have to learn to adapt to the changes. The changes that can be made would be the ones that are like, okay, I need help losing weight. But the ones that can't be made, you have to learn to love yourself in that new stage. The same way, God forbid, right? You would have to learn to love yourself if you get in a serious accident and you lose an arm, or you're permanently disfigured to something that happens in some accident, some way, somehow in the world, right? So you're gonna have to learn how to do that. That's first. In that process, you have to start reflecting inward. You have to turn inward and remember the things that you love about yourself, and remember ways you can connect with your previous self through love, through nurturing yourself. This segues into taking mommy time seriously. So, of course, if you are a person who is going from not having any children to having children, right? The way that social media sometimes shapes this experience or makes you think this experience is going to be is different from the reality of it, right? Because even if you have friends or you have people who you're only around for, a fragment of time. When you get to the thick of it and you see what it's like when you're having back-to-back nights of waking up at 2 a.m., yes, you're going to be tired. Yes, you're going to look tired. Yes, you may have neglected doing your hair. You know what I'm saying? So these things are going to happen, but as your baby gets older, because now Legend is turning 2 soon, I'm starting to find more time to be able to retwist my hair or do my nails. And it's important that even in those times, if you're like, you know what, I'm really just going to take a nap with him, or I'm going to rest, that's okay. But you have to find those fragments and those little windows of time to pour back into yourself. Or yes, you are going to start to feel like all of my time just belongs to baby. And at first it does, but I'm telling you, like, it's going to be something that you learn and you adapt. And eventually it's going to be second nature. Like, you're going to know and you understand it. So an important thing that I feel like the moms in the video didn't mention, which was the obvious, is that yes, your time is shared now, and especially if you're in a dynamic to where you're married now, or like you're in a committed relationship now, like your time is shared. So a lot of those women in those videos seem like they were talking about their younger self or their previous self of being a single person, where all your time is your time. Your dynamic has changed. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if for people that hasn't clicked, but your dynamic has changed. And unfortunately, I think based off of the videos that I saw, a lot of those people are honestly probably regretting having their children. But again, like I said, with this conversation that I'm having, it's not that. It's just coming to grips with your reality that it's changed. It's different now. Be gentle with yourself and set realistic expectations that are going to still help you get what you want to accomplish for yourself, right? Because you're a person, and one day your children are going to leave the nest and they're going to go off and they're going to do their own thing in the world. And you are then going to look at all your time and be like, whoa, what am I going to do now? Those little windows that I spoke on earlier, those little pockets of time, those are the moments where you invest into that bigger picture, into that bigger vision, right? Because again, like I said in the video, a lot of people were saying how they didn't have time for this, they didn't have time for that. You have to create it, you have to make it. And I have other videos you can watch on like discipline and how I organize myself as a mom so that I do have time to do videos or do my hair or do my nails, things that I've always done and things that make me feel like empowered and like I'm still taking care of myself. I'll be completely honest. Like sometimes Terry has to be like, hey, why don't you go take a bath? Why don't you go do your hair? Why don't you do your nails? Not only because he knows it's something that makes me feel like beautiful, but he understands that that's my time to pour into myself. That's my time to remove all of the chaos that's going on around me and say, hey, let's focus on me for a second, because you have to do that. Again, your dynamic has changed. Okay, so like I said, like the video that I watched, it looked like it was like a compilation from like TikTok videos, and the woman that in the video, she was commenting on like their videos. You have to not compare yourself to like single women or women without children, because yes, it's going to look different. No, you cannot. If you truly like prioritize yourself and your children, right? You can't today, right now, and say, I'm just gonna go do this or that, right? You have to plan, you have to make time. It doesn't mean you can't do those things at all, right? It just means that, again, your dynamics change. There's more moving parts involved. And for me, the first priority is Legend. The first priority is making sure that he's taken care of and he's okay. And I think it's big for me to emphasize that I don't have that regret. And I think it's going to be kind of sad, I feel, because social media allows people to tell on themselves, right? And I think there's going to be a large amount of people who put out content like that, saying that they kind of regret having their kids, or saying that they do regret having their kids, and their children may see those videos one day or some way, it may come back to them, and that's not going to be something fun to discuss. Even if it is true, and it may be a little bit of like a hard conversation to have, it's not going to be a fun one. So if you follow this channel, I always talk about how big I am on like tribe and community. You have to find your mom tribe. You have to find your mom community, because if not, then the FOMO is real. FOMO is just fear of missing out. And I think like social media has done a number on us, especially our generation. Now, again, I wanted to speak on the clips that I saw. I'm going to get to the point eventually, guys, to where I can show the clips and discuss over it. I think that would be the easiest way for me to do these videos. But so people can know exactly what I'm talking about. Kind of like a reaction. Yeah, reaction videos. But I think there's also like a generation gap. And I think social media has really, really, really done a number on our generation. And I say that because when we see people, our generation especially, because we're the ones who I feel like were introduced and targeted for like a lot of social media platforms, and then we grew up with the platforms. And so to us, it matters. Like if somebody is saying something in the comment section about us, we care, like for the most part, right? Whereas older generations are kind of like, I don't care. Like they don't think of it the same way we do. And I say that to say, when we see images or, pictures of people doing certain things, and we aren't doing it in that moment, the FOMO kicks in. We feel like we're missing out. We feel like we're not a part of a bigger picture, when the reality of the situation, as we all know, with social media, especially like with the technology of AI, that image may not really be that image. And if it is, right, someone really did take the picture, then it's layers to how things work out for people. It may not be exactly what you're looking at. You know what I'm saying? But social media has put us in the mindset of, you got to be here. You got to be doing this. You got to be over here. You got to be wearing this. This has to be in your background. You have to be seen with this person. And for women who I feel like may not have been mature enough yet, when they had their kid, or maybe not having their kid like when they were ready to have their child, then they start feeling like that because their images change. Your physical image change, but then the pictures that you'll post, the things that you're doing, the places that you're going are different, and they're still seeing other people do it. So I just say that to say that if you are the first mother of your group, of your friend group, right, then you need to find a space or even just a community partner of someone who can help and guide you on this new journey. If it isn't your mom, if it isn't your aunt, if it isn't someone who you already love and respect as a mom, that is something you're really gonna need to do to help you stay focused and centered. Okay, and like how I spoke on the older generations, I also noticed the divide in the comment section. So in the video itself, there were women who seemed like they were millennials and probably Gen Z. And they were like talking about how they felt like they were missing out and social media and in their baby and all of this. They had like all this chaos. And I'm telling you, from the comment section, like literally older women who I would say are like the older millennials and Gen Xers were like, yeah, y'all just different. Y'all generation is just different. Like, what did you expect? What did you think this was gonna be? And it's not to say like, well, you shouldn't have had them, you should have done it. It's not saying that, but they were basically saying like, yeah, like what you're experiencing is real, what you're experiencing is normal, but I'm just confused. Like, what were you expecting? Like, what did you think it was? And I think the more you're surrounded by your supportive tribe of moms or your supportive tribe of women who have dealt with raising different kids, right? Because I have a very close friend who I talk to about Legend all the time, and she doesn't have kids herself, but she is participating in raising over 8 different children. You get what I'm saying? So she knows what it's like. I tell her stuff, she's like, yeah, that's normal. And I'm like, okay, just wondering. And that support makes me feel comfortable because I know that what I'm doing is okay, what I'm doing is normal, but also that my experience is something that's common. So that tribe, that community is going to be important to keep you grounded, but I think it would be very helpful to have someone in that tribe or that community that is knowledgeable and that is older than you. So as I wrap this up, I just want to say that the reality of the situation, right, is that your dynamic has changed. Don't let social media or people saying different things or you feeling like you have to be over here or doing this or doing that make you miss out on these moments. Because let me tell you something. Even right now, only having a 2-year, well, he's about to be 2. I still feel like time is flying. And sometimes I just look at him from the moment he went to sleep to the moment he wakes up the next morning. And I'm like, oh my God, you look taller. Or like I'm looking at his face and I'm like, your face is changing. Like it's not as like chubby and baby like. I mean, it still is, but I'm saying like it's changed. And I know that one day I'm gonna be like, Legend, are you gonna come home? I made some food. And he's gonna be like, no, Mom, I'm gonna do something else today. And that's the reality of it. Like, it doesn't last forever. It's a stage, it's a phase, and it changes. So experience it, love it, enjoy it. And some days are really tough. Like some days I'm in a mood and I'm just like, bruh, I don't know if I can put up with him today. And I can say it's vice versa. He's probably looking at me like, oh my God, you need to go outside for a second. Like, that's going to be normal. That's going to happen with anything you love and enjoy, with anything that you do, right? You're going to have days where you're like, oh God, not today. I really don't want to deal with it. But don't miss out on these moments, right? And like I said, like the biggest thing that I worry about is, 10, 15 years from now when their children find this content, or like because of it being a reality, I do think about those children. I think about the lifestyle that they live if they have a parent that has like some underlying resentment. That's tough. Heal that. If you're one of those people and you really feel like that's what you have going on, you have to heal that, because that's not fair. They're here now. What we gonna do? So just remember, you don't have to wait until they're older to do the things you love and to enjoy and to feel like you got to get your spark back. You might have to wait until they fall asleep, but you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait and feel like, oh, it's going to be down this road. It's the little things. And I'm telling you, the biggest component of it is going to be connecting to the parts of you that you can relate to. Journal, listen to music, listen to the songs you like to listen to, dance, get to know yourself, connect with yourself in this new stage. You may think differently, you may feel differently, and you haven't addressed it yet internally, right? Do that internal work. Journal, take care of yourself, hydrate, eat healthy and nourishing foods. And that's not only going to help you feel better physically, but it's going to put you in the mind of taking care of yourself so that you can take care of your baby, right? And the social media and feeling like you got to be doing this, you got to feel like you got to do this, that's all going to be resolved once you do your internal work. Because once you do your internal work, you're going to figure out why you feel like you have to be doing those things. You might feel like, oh, I feel like I need to be here or doing this because I like to travel. Okay, so now you know you need to travel more. Okay, what are some places you can go that have cool spots for your children to enjoy, for you to enjoy, and you can still do those things, right? So I don't know why a lot of people feel like it's kind of like a unalive sentence. That's coming from a person who, out of all the women in my family who have children, I had a child at the youngest age, and I was 26. You know what I'm saying? And for a lot of people, they may look at that as not really being that young. Some people may say, yeah, that's still young. But for me, I feel like it was a perfect age. Because another thing that I look at is when Legend is 18, I don't want to be, 75 with an 18-year-old. I don't want to be 65 with an 18-year-old. I really don't want to be 80. I really don't want to be 55, but it looks like I might not be too far from it. But the overall message of it all is that you have to do that internal work. Because if you don't do internal work, you're going to find resentment for everything in your life, right? But it just really hurts me that people are having that conversation and that they feel that way. And when I hear it, I understand it, but I'm like, there's work that needs to be done. I think you have to do some work, right? And that's not to take away from their experience or to how they're feeling, but it's to say that I think you're misdirecting your frustration. So this is just my perspective and my feelings on it. But also, again, like I say on this channel, we always talk about healing mind, body, soul. So if you are a person that is feeling that, your feelings are real, right? But feelings change. That's the good things about feelings, because there's been some things I felt, but I don't feel them anymore. So feelings change, and there's work that needs to be done so that you can help yourself. And also, I know that there are always resources, and you should always look into resources to speak to therapists or people who can work with people who may be dealing with postpartum depression or struggles with that area of life. So reach out to someone if you really have to, right? Don't be afraid or feel embarrassed to do that, to need that type of help or assistance, because that is a real thing. And those are resources that are available to you. I can even link a few. So next, I want to encourage you to share your journey and share how you were keeping your spark and keeping connected to who you were prior to your lovely little being here, because that is a real thing, right? How are you feeling? What are you thinking? What is your journey? I want to remind you that you are powerful, you are beautiful, you are resilient. And I have other videos of how you can stay focused and determined throughout your motherhood journey. And also I have videos for postpartum stretching and different things that can help with this part of your life. But let me know in the comments what you think and how you're reigniting that spark. And don't forget, take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.